I'll get the studio audience in.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back once and all. Yes, once and for all time. It is back. We are back again for another week of the Byzantian Brews podcast with your amazing hosts, Chaotic Jacksack and... Oh. Byzantian? Hello?
What's that?
It's coming,
Isn't it?
It's cutting in and out a little bit.
Sake. God's sake.
You're back now.
Yes, what's... Sure. Okay. Fair enough. So what have we been up to since last time round?
So, I picked up a few. I got some stuff. It's hardly very helpful. We did more Harakir, and I have managed to resolve the poignant issue with WWE 2K20. I have solved it. I now have the access again.
What was the problem?
So I think, as it turned out, what I need to do when I'm at the other place at Gigatree, I need to exit the game properly and then let it sync up to the system before I turn the Xbox off. And that way, then it will properly save it to the cloud without it corrupting. Because it constantly autosaves.
Okay.
But now I have fixed it, and I'm hoping, I think maybe Tuesday or maybe next Saturday, to start streaming Mutant League GX. And possibly, if I could figure out Discord integration, and maybe try and get the Discord call listenable while I stream, maybe we could commentate together.
We can do you can always bet points. I want to do that.
Yes.
We can bet points on winners too.
Nice. Also, I've managed to set up the friendship and enemies system. It turns out it's in the My Universe roster section. You can click superstars, and then you can click edit, and then you can edit their friends, enemies, tag team partners, managers, and how they act in a promo, which is quite interesting. So I've managed to make Stank so the Stank Bros are now level 5 friendship because obviously they are brothers, so that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So hopefully,
they were made as a pair.
The next time that they go into a bout like a Royal Rumble, they should act slightly differently to each other. Be less likely to just whack each other for no reason.
Well, that's funny. Did you fix the issue where people can lift each other for like 10 minutes? No one does anything to stop them.
I remember that, yeah. Pepsi Man was lifting up Ultraman for like 20 minutes. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what I need to do in settings to make that not happen, to be honest. But I think it just resolves itself if they get hit, so it's fine. I wonder if it's kind of because you remember way back in the 2008 SmackDown vs. Raw, right? Where tall characters were really hard to knock out in Royal Rumble. I wonder if that's the problem. It's the tall man effect all over again.
That could be it. Could be just want to. Sounds like coding at this point, though. Never mind.
Bro is too tall to die.
Oh god, he was too heavy, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think possibly. Yeah, because he was because I made it like as heavy as possible because Space Marines are very fucking heavy. He might be a bit OP, but I mean, like, I figure that's kind of fine because he's a Space Marine? Question mark.
We'll see if it continues. If it doesn't, then we know we've done it right.
Yeah. Anyway, so what I picked up was I'll go grab it. Actually, I'll go grab it. I haven't opened it yet, but this is BattleTech Inner Sphere. Sorry about that. Inner Sphere Striker Lance. It's a little like four little mech
Cool.
set. You can put over 25. It's got four
I,
cool mech miniatures, sort of the smaller stuff, like slightly more lathe scale mechs. Four miniatures, four
I,
mech warrior cards, and four Alpha Strike cards. And yeah, it looks quite nice. I had a hankering to paint some stuff, and I thought, well, I want to paint some more mech
makes
things.
it fun to play, to be fair.
Yes, and hopefully I was thinking that might help me get out of my
That's
painting
fair.
rut
Do
as
you do you have
well.
the crab?
No, no, I don't have the crab. Maybe one of these is a missile boat though, because that's a thing.
Or whistle, but oh yeah.
Uh, One of them kind of looks like a ship with legs, which is kind of weird. But it was the top.
That's got to be a missile boat.
Yeah. Because I mostly got it for the top right hand one, which is a bit more angular and less blocky than the other ones I've seen. And I like stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, I picked up some Battletech stuff. What have you been up to this week?
First, last week there was MegaCon.
Nice. Oh,
It
yeah!
was a busy weekend.
Nice.
I that Warwick Davis was going about on a little
Nice.
segue thing.
Oh, yeah!
Was
Oh,
busy.
yes! What? Hello, I'm Warwick Davis. I just realised I need to change the
Yeah, just
fucking...
going about his business. And, yeah, it's like 40 quid, just leading to it. Um, I got a funny little £2 commission from a
Nice.
guy. The entire thing was he was selling his own art. So he was doing like a draw Pokemon from memory thing. So I asked him for the
Ah,
Gen 1 Golbat. That was
nice.
good £2 well spent. They brought a lab beaker worth of dice for £9, which is not bad.
Ooh,
I use it for the Fandango campaign when that rolls round.
awesome.
And what's to pick up? Um, Picked up. Oh yeah, Anfield was there and Connor,
Ah,
so I got
yes.
a free Gremlin.
Oh, yeah, you showed me that little gremlin gun. I was like, "Yee."
Yes, got a free Gremlin for old time's sake, I guess. Yeah, says what a nice day. Met lots of friendly people. Hung out at the bar afterwards for a bit.
Nice.
Got to meet some nice folks. Would would do that again if we do another con because people just socialise properly at the bar. You
Yeah.
can't hear anyone, but
This
it
is...
wasn't a bowling alley though, so it's a bit mental.
Hmm. Yeah.
But it's just nice sometimes to get offered free shot. You just get to meet strangers and maybe see them again at other cons.
This is true.
Everyone passes out the Instagram as if like
That means anything.
so. It's not a really good social time, but you do so much walking around the floor. I just ready to collapse when I got
Ooh,
back.
I can very much imagine. Yikers. I remember the last time I went to MegaCon. This was a few years ago. It was so busy. Like obviously MegaCon is busy, but it was like at peak times it was like trying to like get through the tide of people busy.
Human traffic,
Yeah.
Pimlico traffic.
Which isn't great when you're wearing like a full length black Organization of 13 coat in during I think it was a heat wave at the time
Yeah,
even. It was like lovely. That was
you picked a
fantastic.
good time for that.
Yeah. It's just frying over here.
Say that like wearing an EV suit was so much easier. But yeah, I know
Well,
what you
yeah, I
mean though.
suppose, yeah.
Yeah, that was, and then this week, other than running Harakiri again, which is a lot more character in depth, and like I think my combat bone's getting itchy when I throw combat at you.
Yes, I think we're
Um,
overdue some
there
combat
was
actually, but we've been like I was trying
yes,
to speed things along a little bit last session, but I was like, we got a bit
they just
distracted.
avoided it very well.
Hmm.
You just avoided it very well. To be fair, that's that's the dice talking.
Superb
Um,
levels of
I,
navigation.
Yeah, it's a desert. Have to have some way of navigating it.
Yeah.
Um, then there was a football match yesterday for Walsall. They did lose 4-2, so people were out nice and quick, sadly. But lots of money raised, and got Alex the Acorn, aka me, got to take a shot on the pitch against
Nice.
the home mascot, which it's the second time I've yet to score, but I think Swifty gets to practice, so not to keep myself too hard about that. And it is
Nice.
fun for the novelty, and I do admit I'm terrible at football anyway, so let's. I just want to get one in. I don't mind when. I just want one in.
Mascot goals. Score a goal in football. Just one. At
Oh,
some
when you
point.
rest a giant acorn, your visibility is a bit compromised. You can
Yeah.
forgive a little bit, but it would be nice to do it once. It's good for camera either way, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm.
So that was good. Then had D&D night before with another lot.
Noith.
Who's for a first time DM, he's doing very well. He's using the 2024 rules, and they kind of don't, well, a hybrid of them, which is good because I was rereading how druids work to see if I was doing it right. Turns out I've been doing it a hybrid system, which is actually better.
Uh
One thing I didn't pick up on, so you know how druids you can wild shape into certain animals depending on if you've seen them or in the new version. You pick so many forms to take at certain levels.
right.
Turns out I can't. Turns out I got that a little bit wrong with the stats because if you do it purely by 2024 rules for reasons I don't understand, it's beast of the land, beast of the air, or beast of the sea, and they all have the same basic template. And I think that's kind of detracting a little bit
Yeah.
from the actual.
Like I get
The
it.
only bit I do agree with. Yeah, carry on. Sorry.
I get it in a way because yes, there were options in old 5e, like a good amount of options. But there was also cases like, okay, for example, Owl is a wild shape you can wild shape into because it has a stat block. But for
Yes.
example, you couldn't turn into a goose or some weird bird like a cardinal or something like that because the stat block just straight up isn't there. If you're doing this raw anyway, right?
Was it icy tipped thrush or something? I don't know.
Yeah, so I get that opening it up and being like, okay, beast of the land, beast of the air, beast of the sea, kind of restricts you more if you, but also kind of opens things up at the same time. Like, yes, it makes the pool a lot more shallow because things don't have abilities and such. You know, like this, you kind of lose out in the giant spider climb thing and stuff like that. But on the other hand,
Giant
you get
snake
those
as well.
options.
Another good
Yeah,
one.
I guess the best of both worlds would be to use the old system, but have a bunch of homebrewed extra
Yes,
additional forms, or
that's
just be able
kind
to
of
pick
what we ended up
both.
doing.
So it's a case of,
Better
okay, you could
worse.
turn into any of the old ones, or you could pick from these three if the form you want isn't really applicable to any of those. And maybe we judge up an extra special rule for them or something. Like a
Yeah, so
good,
that was a fun
yeah,
little discovery.
yeah.
Um, yeah, the only thing I really like about the 2024 rules is what it does with weapon mastery. Everything else, I'm not really on board with. Oh, there's one
Yeah.
other thing I'm just going to say. So, Druid Wild Shape, the way it works now is you don't magically get the hit points from the new form.
Huh?
So you get extra hit points, but not as many as the form you take.
Well, that kind of defeats the
I
purpose of
like
some
that.
of the forms, but
As a DM, I
sure,
love this.
yes.
As a DM, that's perfect.
Well,
Druids were kind of broken before, and now it's manageable. That's preferable,
I
to be
guess, but
honest.
like, I don't know. I still kind of liked that druids could tank because of that. Like, druids are a jack of all trades if you spec them in the right direction, kind of class. And the fact, having the
Yeah,
option to be like a moon druid tank was nice. I admit, moon druids are a bit strong, but like, I don't know. It
yeah,
just
they've changed that.
Yeah, it felt not. I mean, I'm kind of a bit of a Druid stan, I guess, but it's kind of the reason I like Druid so much is because of how versatile they are. In that, In so much
Huh?
of like, okay, level 1 to 3, level 1, you figure out how your party works, how your party dynamic works, and what's missing. And then from level 2 onwards, you just spec into what's missing. You know,
Yeah,
Druids
kind of follow
Druids used to be
that,
like
but
the
to
filler
counterbalance that,
class.
there's a new druid subclass that's effectively more fightery. So now
Oh,
you can sort of tank without wild shaping.
that's
Basically, get
actually good.
proficiency in medium armor and martial weapons.
To be
So
fair, that's
you're
also pretty good.
that's really fun to play actually. Obviously, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And as a DM, I kind of hated druids being like, "Oh, I'm just going to change form and get a whole new set of hit points." Kind of a pain in the bum.
Mm.
I'm kind of glad that's gone.
It was
But
kind of funny
yeah,
though.
the druid's actually kind of
At
fun.
like higher levels, you'd be like, oh, you know, I can just wild shape into a bat or something and avoid the BBEG's damage. Power. Oh, you wild shaped into something with low hit points but really high evasion. Be a shame if my power word killed you and you died immediately because you have
You have to
less
make
than
a
100 hit
save on that,
points.
wouldn't it?
Yes, but if you failed, you
Or
you
just
don't
the
even
same.
take
But
damage. You just die. He just straight up die.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I actually don't mind. Apart from the Beast of Land thing, I don't mind the druid changes too much.
Hmm.
Uh, it's a mixed bag. So 2024 is literally the. I don't think people run it whole because I think you're going to miss out on a lot.
Yeah.
Some of the bits are worth taking. The improved
Yes.
spells are worth it, but the combat is much harder now. But I'm used to playing with Brett as a DM, so hard combat is like, okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, well, cool and good. Shall we move swiftly and gingerly on to our tabletop book club section?
Okay, there we are. Cool. Right, so let me find it. I have a full of files. Need that for later. I've gone back a bit old school for this because I was thinking, what books did I not get round to, and what did I actually kind of like? Um,
Oh.
One thing I found, which is a little is nice and generic, is when it will play itself out. Hello. Yeah,
Hmm?
Storm. There we go. Subversion of Storm King's Thunder because I've heard good things about it.
Oh,
In a few years, I thought, does this hold up?
nice.
Um, Generally, it's all right in that sort of high fantasy way.
Uh,
It's very giant heavy, and I would say that the quest is a bit linear, but I think having played enough D&D, I kind of like linear sometimes.
yes.
Saves wandering and asking, what are we doing? It's good to
Yes.
have a direction. But one thing that I do, with hindsight, what I think the old books did very, very well was even though all the main campaigns were their own different thing, they'd always have some sort of page on like important people at the start of the book that you might need to know about and where they appear. So good DM reference.
Yep.
But also like they would have descriptions of keep in mind this is Faerun, but it would be like all the factions that generally operate there. They'd be in every single. That first batch of adventures, they'd be in all of them.
Mm.
Stuff like the Harpers and the Emerald Enclave and the Lord's Alliance. They're always present in every single one of the early adventure books.
Oh.
So if you were to for some reason, run them all as they were written, your characters could get crazy favor with these factions. It would be almost seamless. So I do quite like that at the old books.
That's pretty cool. That
Um,
that feels very kind of Fallout New Vegas-y kind of thing of like, yeah,
yeah.
factions actually matter for some, imagine that having a campaign game where factions
Yeah.
matter. Wow.
Yeah, they're a little generic, but the fifth edition early one was a little generic, but that was
Mm.
kind of to its strength. That's not really. bad thing per se. Um, yes, I'll say that as a campaign, it is a little sort of loses it in the middle a little bit. And if you're not into giants and join the politics of how the ordning works, it's definitely not going to be something you want to check out.
Ah,
Um, Also, there is a few references to the other campaigns, which again you could easily miss. Like there's a involvement of the Howling Hatred cult, which I know about because of quite like the Prince of the Apocalypse,
yes.
where they're the elemental cult of air. They're very cool stuff. But if you didn't know who they were, or if you didn't know about the town of Bryn is all the way over in is all the way over in the north,
Hmm.
it probably wouldn't mean much to you to go there. Then it's just another location. So I think they were relying on people buying every single one of these and going, "Oh, I know about that place." But I'm not sure that would happen at every table.
Yeah. It's
Apart
still
from that,
it's
it's
nice
a
to have
solid
though.
stock adventure.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, it's a very solid stock adventure. And for new players, if you know that don't have quite an idea of what the basic rule of how the basic cultures of D&D monsters, maybe haven't read the monster manual 20 times or something. It's good to have like standard factions that you can just say, "Oh, my character's with this faction," and then you can fill it out later. Um, so I think that's a really good, solid adventure. So that if you're a veteran DM, you definitely tweak this,
Hmm.
change how it actually unfolds.
Yeah.
But for new DMs, I think it's perfectly adequate, which is weirdly how I describe the beginning of fifth edition. Perfectly
Perfectly
adequate,
adequate.
not exceptional. Yeah, it isn't a bad thing. It's not a diss. It's just how it is. It's a good jumping off point, and it's not a bad jumping on point for veteran DMs who just want to tweak a few details and run it as is because you can always fall back on it.
It's
Um,
satisfactory.
also, it's a nice, also quite a nice chunky campaign as well. It's weighing in at like 58 pages worth with all the fancy bits like
Weighing in at 50 pages and 240 ounces. Or whatever, however heavy a book is. It's a hardback, right? So pretty heavy.
yeah, well, yes, it's nice hardback. It's honestly not a bad campaign. I would comparing it to the other old school ones I've got. I put it below Out of the Abyss and below Prince of the Apocalypse.
Makes sense?
Um, but it and it was obviously worse than Fandel because that's I think that's the strongest opener to any of the campaigns they did of that era because it
Yeah.
establishes this is D&D in a really straightforward way. They haven't really repeated that since. Um, but I would say it's a solid like 5 or 6 out of 10. So
Nice.
you're not gonna change how you play the game, but it's a really solid entry. And I do kind of miss how in a weird way how generic they were. There's a generic fantasy that you sort of got. I think that's sort of been a bit of a lost art in a way
Yeah.
because you don't have everything be too weird because then nothing is weird anymore. Um, at the same time, you can't have everything be too normal because then what's you really holding out for?
Uh huh.
Yeah, that's Storm King's Thunder. I think it holds it perfectly well.
Uh huh.
Um,
So
I think I have also
nice.
bought my next week's review
Ooh,
just today, which will be a
nice.
bit more thematically interesting.
Uh
But
huh.
I'll not be spoiling that one just yet. What you got?
So I'm gonna start by
Sorry.
showing. I'm gonna send you this image. Um, I'm gonna send you this
Oh,
image
that's
to
a good
start
pitch.
with. So this is in the front cover of the book, or near enough the front cover of the book.
Okay.
Okay, just digest that for a
Oh,
second.
that's a man. I think that's a. It looks like he's wearing something from a Hieronymus Bosch painting.
So this is apparently a man of the Sandwich Islands in a mask from A Voyage to the Pacific.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Right. No,
it's like a
okay. Is this so?
gourd
Is this
mask.
You know, I've seen stuff kind of like it in some museums. So is this just advice? Is this like a tabletop book? Is this like
No.
was this someone's real tribal getup?
So this is someone's real tribal getup. That's the thing. So this book was
I'll believe that.
originally
Okay, now it makes a
printed
lot more sense.
in 1929. I bought this as a kind of an inspo thing, basically. First published in 1929 by Alison Rivers
Ooh,
Limited, London. So this is a book called Ancient Rites and Ceremonies. I would show people the book's front cover, but I might actually get banned on Twitch if I do because it has a few naked women on the front, but like in that kind of Renaissance painting style, you know.
ah, I know what you're on about. Yeah.
But yes, this is a book of like various ancient rituals or rites and things from a variety of cultures. We've got Congo, Fiji, Hawaiian or Sandwich Islands,
Ooh.
Java, Mariana Islands, the Netherlands, the North American Indians, Peru, the ancient Incas, Poland, the ancient Poles, Turkey, the Society Islands, and Russia, Tartary, amongst other things like Polynesia, which is very interesting.
Society Islands.
Yes. 214, the Society Islands. 214. What are we talking about? The Society Islands. 214. Let's see. These islands were named by Captain Cook in honor of the Royal Society in 1770. Why am I not surprised? Tahiti is the principal island of the group. So it's the basically the Tahiti Islands, I guess, or you know the islands that Tahiti surrounds, or whatever, and is said to have been discovered by Quiros. I don't think I can say that word. At the beginning of the 16th century, all the inhabitants, usually known as the Tahitians, the predominating and probably original type is straight-haired, although according to Captain Cook, the principal chief, Tuveratoa, afterwards known as Pomar, was a giant of 6 feet 3 inches. Wow, that's not. I mean, that is tall by today's standards, I guess, but not like massively tall.
Me.
Oh, he had a mop of hair. He had a mop of hair.
Oh.
This being a characteristic of the Fiji Islanders, a people of different extraction. Earliest visitors to the island recall the colour of their skin range from almost that of a fair European, suggesting some previous contact with white men, to that of a dark copper colour mulatto, evidence of a dark immigration. As is customary under these mixed conditions, the
Okay.
fairer and more rare became the dominant and aristocratic, whilst the darkest were for the lower class. Oh, okay then. Paleness of skin was more of a sign of beauty. It
Okay.
was a practice among the higher orders to undergo a course of beauty culture. This consisted in remaining indoors for several months, clad in all the clothing procurable, and dieting on the breadfruit, which was supposed to possess the remarkable quality of whitening the skin. Whatever their various racial characteristics of colour or hair may have been, by reason of their environment, they became a languorous people, irresponsible and free of care. Occasionally, however, they tortured their prisoners to death in the most barbarous fashion. Their dances and songs all tended in the
Yep.
same direction of exciting the amorous passions, but they held other orgies. Oh, there's also another picture here. The body of
Oh.
a chief as preserved after death in Otaheite. Wow. I won't go into too much detail, but yeah, there's a whole like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages on this one like area, which I guess would be modern Tahiti mostly. Wow. But yeah, I just thought I'd pick this up because like
I like it.
having inspiration for
Why
like
not? I guess.
particularly indigenous cultures is quite cool, and apparently it's something we should be doing modern
Now
times
you have an
anyway.
historical reference for anyone who says you're being racist. Like, no,
Exactly,
look, isn't
exactly.
it?
It's also kind of funny that we picked the islands which are like, hey, this island is racist, not because of like colonialism, but because the actual indigenous peoples themselves,
Yeah,
with you
it's
know,
just like that. Also, I love how it describes it as if there's just this weird, like, ritual orgy going on. He's just there in the room.
it's just there in the room, yeah. So yeah, it turns
Like,
out
like in a very English way. It's like, oh, sorry,
yeah,
don't mind me.
it turn
I'll just sit here.
yeah, it turns out that you don't have to be like a white colonialist with from a developed nation to be racist. People just can figure out racism all by themselves, apparently.
Do it by themselves.
Uh,
That's kind of like I kind of like to own a book like that because I have a book on fantastical tribes. I think that's very good.
well, you're welcome
We've
to
got one of
borrow it
actual
at any point.
real tribal peoples here.
Oh, I found a bit on Persia as
That's really
well.
cool. Yeah.
Nice. I
Wha-
might borrow this
Okay.
to our friend Nathan because his character is from Persia, so maybe he would do some ancient Persian rituals.
You're not
Especially
you're
since
cool
I've
actually.
just
I
found
don't know much about the actual ancient Persia.
the marital mating ritual. Apparently, those of the blood
Oh wow.
royal, more
Okay.
particularly, put their husbands to this trouble, so that it requires whole months to reclaim them. Sometimes the haggling over the dowry took place up to the time of the delivery of the maid to the man. Wow! Just yes, I must deliver a maid to my husband. What a
What
weird.
class lady are they being delivered at?
What class they're being delivered at?
Royal
Express
Mail, right?
Royal Mail first class post. But yeah, it's Ancient Rites and Ceremonies by Grace A. Murray. Yeah, an old book. And this particular printing, I think, was like the late 90s, I want to say. 1996.
That's cool.
Yeah, so even this is old.
So
But yeah.
where should you get these from? I need to check these out.
So I picked these up from the
Where do you
Birmingham
find
City
these? I need to go looking.
Centre. This was from the Birmingham City Centre British Heart Foundation shop.
Wow,
Charity
they
shop,
get
eh?
some good stuff.
They do, apparently. I never used to look at their books, but now I'm like, oh, I need stuff for Tabletop Book Club. Have they got anything interesting? Turns out, yes. And it was £2.
They might have expedition files from the Pyramid of Giza, 1925 or something.
That would be quite funny.
Or talking about
So,
the locals for some reason.
yes. So, let's
Gary,
move
yeah.
onwards to Critical Fumble.
It's critical fumble.
Yes. Critical
Oh god,
Fumble.
what choice? We have lots of choice.
Yeah.
Um,
There've been a lot of fumbles over the
what are we?
past few
So,
weeks.
lot of fumble. Right. Let's have a look. Is Ubisoft? Is Ubisoft? Ubisoft doing an oopsie? Oh, I remember the oopsie. Remember the main oopsie, oops number one. Um, so there is a rumor going that Tencent might be trying to buy out some of the big Ubisoft IPs, including Assassin's Creed,
Weren't Tencent the
and
people
with
who
Shadows.
did Pokemon Go, or am I thinking something else?
That's them, I think.
Um,
Um, they're firing staff left, right, and centre. It's not going well. Um,
not
and
Niantic. Who's
what in
Tencent?
short, the shareholders. Not to you know, not to say I like shareholders
Yeah.
because they can be kind of weird, scummy people. But they're not happy because they're losing money, and they're trying. They're basically saying they're basically trying to pull out the Tencent deal because it will just make it would be even worse for them.
Yeah.
Uh, So basically, there's basically the shareholder is at Civil War, which is really fun for a company which is putting out stuff people don't like. Um, Although I do think part of this could be solved really easily by just not saying your games are historical.
Yeah.
How
That's the
many
main
colors
critique of
are there in
Assassin's
this
Creed games I
world?
see a lot of. It's like that wasn't historically accurate. Just stop saying it's inaccurate then. 'Cause
Mhm.
then it's not a problem. Like I don't know. I
Oh.
don't know that I wasn't there.
Oh.
No.
Oh no. Oh
Oh
dear.
no.
Oh no. So I'm on the Tencent Games website.
What have you found?
They produce a lot of
Yeah,
mobile games.
they
Oh, they
really
did
do.
do Warhammer 40k Darktide though.
Yeah, but they own a lot of things. That's kind of
Yeah,
their thing now.
yeah.
They're Disneying stuff,
Dune
buying them out.
Awakening,
Um,
Dune Spice Wars. But I saw things like Lego is
yeah,
Infinite
oops,
and the Call of Duty Mobile, Naruto Mobile,
yeah,
PUBG Mobile. Uh oh, Vermintide 2. They I guess own Vermintide 2. They have at least the Chinese version of League of Legends. Uh, the Division 2, Fortnite. Oh, I guess the Chinese, yeah, exclusively operated by Tencent in China. Yeah, yeah. So they have the Chinese version of Fortnite, basically. Okay.
yep. So maybe,
Sure. Well, I guess they can't do any worse
yeah,
than Ubisoft, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't say I was there, but I'm pretty sure that Yasuke, the lone black sword retainer for Oba Nobunaga, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Pretty sure he A wasn't gay. Pretty sure that he B wasn't a samurai, and I'm pretty sure didn't lead many armies. But if you play Shadows, you might be convinced otherwise.
Hmm.
I've seen some of the gameplay. It's like this isn't even trying.
Yeah. Hold up. Is this gonna load or am I gonna cry very bad tears?
Oh, what? You having some trouble?
I'm just looking something up right now. I'm doing my curious gooseness. Uh, of course it's a locked bloody post. Thanks Reddit. Yeah, so my thing with the whole Yasuke, I don't really care that much on the Yasuke thing. From what I've seen of the game, it's fine, but the story, I think,
Yeah,
some of the aspects of the story and some of the, I guess, plot beats and tension is fine, but from what I've seen, it
yeah,
seems to be mechanically the same as every other post Black Flag Assassin's Creed ever, with
yeah.
some Fortnitification for good measure
I
or
think too that you
Destinyfication
are
for
right. The
good
ASCII, the
measure.
ASCII thing, I think the ASCII thing is part of it, but I think the most egregious thing is I've seen a cutscene for the end of the game,
Oh
and you know the female assassin they've got for the game.
yes.
It's vaguely implied that she kills Oda Nobunaga, and that's definitely not what happened.
Hmm.
It's very much recorded how he went out, and it wasn't some random
Yes,
assassin. It was
my
someone he knew.
my it's kind of a rebuttal, but not really. Because I've been doing some research on Assassin's Creed lately because of the magic stuff, and my curiosity towards it is piked. So I'm not giving them any credit for this, but maybe this is the point. The Assassin's Creed games are not actually technically meant to be 100% historically accurate in their own canon, basically.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's something like it's not actually happening. It's a simulation built upon memories of people, isn't it? Because this game company is using this simulation with people in vats or something to create their games and make them cool, but they change things to suit themselves. Huh, funny that. Or that, yeah, to suit their agenda. Which is a really weird meta narrative when you really think about it. It's very much a Ubisoft. I think the call's coming from inside the house. If you're trying to make commentary on hey, maybe we should not change history to suit our agenda, I think the call's coming from inside the house. Ugh.
Well, I guess it's a bit there. Carry on there.
Yeah, so I was just saying, the call is coming from inside the house-ness, that whole thing. Yes, we Abstergo Entertainment have made this
Yeah.
game using this power, simulations and algorithms and such, but we've changed bits to suit our agenda. Ubisoft, are you seeing this? This thing that you made,
Well, that's
this
honest.
this this social commentary on how you should make games, basically. Have you possibly considered taking your own advice?
They could make him at least like less follow this random dude
Yeah,
for like 10 minutes while he
I
walks slowly through a city.
like make
When he
this.
can probably, when realistically he'd be able to see you.
Yeah. Also, just make this shit a fucking cutscene. If it's just walking through a town and talking to somebody,
Yeah,
make it a
totally
full
good
motion
option.
video cutscene. Especially given your track record of like these what did they call it, like rendered cutscenes. These like rendered cutscenes half the time fucking break. Just make it an FMV, then nothing could break.
Yeah, just stop trying to be extra. Make the game.
It reminds me of the start of Elder Scrolls, the start of Skyrim, the famous start of Skyrim that is mean to fuck. Even vanilla, that cutscene could break if an entity spawns in that area and interrupts the carriage.
They've done that once by mistake.
It's just
Not I
like,
did either.
and I got soft locked immediately upon starting the game in a particular run. I said, I can't even start the game. Thanks. Why isn't this an FMV? Game developers, stop trying to be extra. It doesn't work.
We'll forgive you if a random NPC in the background doesn't get an important role. It's all right.
Yes.
Probably won't gonna follow them around anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So enough about Sasuke. I'm kidding. I know
Ubisoft.
his name. Yeah. Sasuke Uchiha and
Sasuke, that's his brother.
Ubisoft. Uh, I guess,
Oh,
I guess who's back? Back again. Magic's back. Back
what's he?
again. It's Wizards of the Cola.
No,
Again.
I'm half tempted to make a temporary Twitter account when my I'll just say it now. When my Oriental Adventures book arrives on Wednesday odd.
Uh-huh.
Just tell Woods of the Coast it arrived. Just to wind them up a bit, be quite funny.
Just oh yeah, I
I
got I
won't
got
care, but I'll annoy one person.
so Wizards of the Coast has done the Wizards of the Coast again and has been like, here's a April
Hey.
Fool's secret lair drop. Except this time it's not. I mean, it is
Oh,
funny, but it's not funny. It's Deadpool. It's Deadpool,
right.
and I'm like, this is cool and all, but
Oh,
we have another instance of a mechanically unique card and a secret lair. That's great. That's now gonna
great.
cost people a shitload of money because scalpers. So congratulations on that. Um, Also, a card they haven't reprinted in like forever, which is great. In the bonus slot, so you're not
Right.
even guaranteed to get it, so that's even better. And it's also made another card from the Doctor Who sets, like, have an 1,000% rise in price to like $8 or like £8 from like 80p.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
grand.
great as well. I actually bought it before it went up because I wanted to build the deck around it. It's the Master multiplied. It's the John Sim Master from that one episode, that one Christmas special, where he everyone becomes him.
There's only three of them. John Sim, rightly.
Yeah, which is
The third one was a bit awful.
it's
I don't
very
remember that
funny
right.
how this like bulk rare is now kind of valuable because of a card you could only fucking get in a secret lair. I love Magic right now. I really do.
That's what they're doing it, isn't it?
Yeah. Add to that the
That's what
fact
they're
that
doing it, isn't it?
yeah, the
That
new
artificial
set
scarcity.
has released, and the one card that people actually care about from this set seems to be rarer than any other mythic in the set. So that's great, and people are upset about that because people in Modern need 4 copies of it, which is lovely.
Oh, great! So he'll be fan.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully the price of it isn't too bad.
That's gonna be a lot of money.
It's like £35 per copy, which isn't bad for standard slash modern by any means. But it's still annoying if you wanted to actually open it from a box. Because a friend of mine opened, I think, 3 booster boxes, didn't get one. Not even one. From 3 whole boxes. Which is kind of silly. Thanks, Wizards. Would be nice if we had, like, an actual known pull rate for every single mythic, so we know you're not fucking with us.
So what's up next? Sorry, my mic's crapping
Oh,
out at me for
right.
something.
I guess it's time for our homebrew of the week.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to hang on that note for a
Okay.
hot
Yeah,
minute.
to try and see if it was the other one. No, I've got a couple. So I've got one cute and one not the cute.
Nice.
Um, this first one is not original, but I think it's neat and it needs to be in the new edition.
Uh-huh.
I was looking through my third edition monster manual and I found a cute little guy. It's called a shocker lizard. Get an
Oh.
image of them because there's a really cute artwork for them. They're great. Um, Come on, give me the image. Yeah, so they are little bipedal lizards that can channel electricity.
Oh.
There we are. I think they're neat.
Ooh. It's a little
No, I
guy.
don't know whether it makes a fifth. I think they're great. Yeah, they love anywhere warm, and they have a pair of like long antennas, which are sort of interpreted as that's how they channel electricity.
Makes sense.
Um, and I kind of designed a whole mini dungeon based off this monster alone. As a little experiment.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I'm quite happy with it. It's literally a mini dungeon, but I think it's a cool place to have them just knock about and be cute
Makes
and
sense.
deal not inconsiderable damage. So start they have obviously electrical resistance, so immunity to lightning, resistant to thunder damage, can't be stunned. So that's cool.
Makes sense.
And they've create glow nodes. So basically, they give off 10 feet of bright light and 10 feet of dim light
Oh.
because they constantly just like they're constantly glowing once they're all charged up. So I imagine they would hunt by like
Yeah.
hanging around watery areas where fish are at, shock the water, and eat the fish when it rises to the surface.
Honestly,
Not even ideally a combat encounter. They
yeah.
just sort of are a thing. And then
I'm
they might
actually I'm actually thinking this would make for a very, very
carry
cool
on. Sorry.
so make for a very, very cool and useful ranger pet. Just having a little guy that can help you hunt and also emits light.
Yeah.
That's just useful and cute and friend shaped.
I did interpret it to have like a literal 4 hit points because they're very small, but they're just kind of neat.
Hmm.
Quite a few skills on them. After their actual shocking bolt, they can bite, but it's like a +2 modifier, so nothing to
Yeah.
write home about. There's 1d4 lightning and 1d4 thunder, and it can stun. It's like being shot by a stun gun. But also, it can be used to do split fire. So basically, you can target 2 targets within range of 20 feet,
Hmm.
and it can split the lightning and thunder damage between both of them. I thought that'd be
Oh,
quite a cool idea.
nice.
Um, Yeah, not really a combat encounter because it's such a small creature. I just think it's so cool.
Hmm.
It doesn't have stats, and I think I felt kind of sad for it. So I had to give it something to work with. Um, one of the it's not so was going through that. Did it for a club entry a while ago.
Ah,
That's the thing I brought. And
see,
I rolled a couple of traits on the demon table, and I made a thing.
ooh,
That is a shaggy-haired yeti thing called a gore. Um, idea being it looks like a yeti, apart from the fact it's got 4 arms. But also it has like mouths on its on the palms of its hands, sort of like the that strange fairy from Pan's Labyrinth. It's
ah,
pretty neat. Basically, it's just a big evil CR3 brawler, very uncomplicated.
mm.
Coming in strength, uh, pretty bulky. Hangs a lot around Yetis. Sometimes don't know the difference. They just think it's a weird Yeti. It has a lot of the same resistances
Mm.
thing, which I thought was just kind of a neat demonic thing. And because I rolled like numbing poison for the random traits thing, I've interpreted it as so in it when it attacks, it has 2 claw/slam attacks and 1 bite
Yeah.
each round as an action. Um, so the actual claw attacks are where that comes in. So it does 1d6 plus 5, but it does have three attacks, so it adds up. But it has the numb trait. So basically, what it does is there's a DC 13 con save, or they get disadvantage on con saves until the end of their next round.
Oh, interesting.
Which, when you're fighting Yetis in a cold area, is just punishing.
Mm.
So basically, it makes it really, really difficult to actually deal with anything cold based, which is pretty much a lot of what they do.
I can imagine, yeah.
Um, another action, another thing I gave it, because this is something I borrowed from my other DM friend, who is it's an action that does no damage. It's just called Shunt. It's like a normal attack, but it just knocks you prone. That's all it does. I just think it's a neat thing to give a monster.
Yep.
They just like shoulder check you and knock you over, and I thought that was just kind of neat.
Hmm.
Um, so I thought it was a cool idea. Also, found some. It's not official art or anything. Someone did some very cool 4-armed gorilla thing that I think, will pass for what it looks like. So I'm gonna put this in
Ah,
chat. So
okay.
that's one cute and one not so cute. That's what we come up with this week.
Well, I have one definitely dangerous and one potentially dangerous. So, first of all, we have a new spell
Okay.
because I thought this was kind of interesting. It's called Arm Object. No, it's not about giving objects arms. In case you
Did
were
Nigel a
wondering.
marmalade spell?
Oh, you bastard, you've given me an extra arm! No. Basically, you touch a mundane object, mundane, not magical, no bigger than 1 foot by 1 foot in size, roll a d6. In X turns, where X is the number rolled, that object will explode and deal 1d4 fire damage and 1d6 piercing to everything within 5 feet of it. Basically, you turn an object into a
Mhm.
bomb. Uh, I was writing this at the time because I wanted to create I was like, oh, okay. There's not many like explosive expert kind of like
There
anything
really
in
isn't,
D
is
and
there?
D. So I thought maybe I could make like an explosion wizard spell. It wasn't until later I realized what I basically made is Killer Queen. Uh, Killer Queen, dice in the bucket, bites the dust. No, it doesn't become bites the dust. But what it does do is at each increment of 5 levels, it does get a bit stronger. So the damage will increase each set of 5 levels a little bit, and you also get a new way to prime things. So at 5th level, you can choose and you get to choose rather than roll for your timer. So kind of like cooking a grenade, I guess. At 10th level, you can
I
declare a proximity trigger instead of a timer, basically to making a landmine, basically. 15th level, you may change that trigger to a sound, touch, scent, or visual trigger. So if it like quote unquote smells gas or something, you could prime it to explode that way. And when you hit 20th level, it gets stronger again. and the caster may now detonate any of the explosives at will prematurely, so long as they're within 120 feet of them. So it gets better and more useful over time. And I didn't limit it to like, oh, you can only have one active at once, because it is a cantrip. So it's like, it's like, yes, it's not as good as, say, it's about as good as Eldritch Blast, sort of, but at low levels, like, the chance of you potentially actually hitting what you're aiming to hit, it's a lot more utility based. It's more trap based. That's another thing. I want to make spells that are more designed to help pre-combat combat rather than in the heat of battle as well, to give people more options to, like,
Okay, so
ambush and things and play tactically.
uh, I'm following. So regarding the wording a bit,
Yeah.
is it an object that's not been used or worn?
Yes, I should, yeah. Yeah, I should definitely add that, yes.
Because okay, but some players would be so about you using this and just touching everyone's objects. And does it destroy the item in question as well?
I would probably say depends on the object, because some objects might be really sturdy. It would also basically it would also deal damage to the object itself. It would deal its damage to the object itself.
That's see, that bit. That's fair.
Because it deals damage to everything
It's
within
it.
5 feet of it. So it would include the object itself. If the object is, say, something like, a bar of adamantite, it's probably not going to be that damaged from its own explosion.
It's at the DM's discretion, I guess. For
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
Yeah, so that's arm object. I'll just change that to held, not held or worn. And the other one I have is a bit more. Oh, I've just seen. Oh, that is a very, very hairy boy. Uh, it's something in time for Easter. This is Mordenkainen's TM.
hey,
Magical mystery eggs TM. Chocolate, usually, eggs with a surprise inside,
okay,
covered in aluminium leaf, screen printed with Mordenkainen TM branding. They come in 3 sizes: small, large, and jumbo. And each so small and large have a D20 list. So small eggs sometimes found as a box of 3, kind of like Kinder eggs, basically. Um, I won't go through the whole list because there's a lot of it going on here, but anything could, when you open up this, when you remove the foil of this egg, it could be anything from a exploding egg, a rotten egg, a chocolate egg with nothing in it, an egg made of iron, an egg containing a spell scroll, or an egg made of solid gold. That's the 20, so don't expect that to happen too often. So, also, the egg could contain more eggs that grow to normal size when removed from the egg. Exception. And the similar is true with the large egg, except, I guess, on a bigger scale and with more danger at the lower end. Like, the 1 for that is molten lava. The egg contains molten lava. A chocolate egg, of course,
oh,
containing molten lava, which will
okay.
deal 3d10 fire damage to the holder. Or a seemingly normal egg that hatches into a very angry baby cockatrice. And so on and so forth. Jumbo eggs are always good.
Okay. Which
You
those
only
just a chocolate egg, but he does.
Yes, some of these. So yeah, so like
Okay.
roughly within the 10 to 15 range, they will be chocolate eggs. I think it's like, yeah, 7, 8,
Okay.
9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and 16 um are chocolate eggs. And then the
Okay.
jumbo eggs are always good, which are
That's
always
fun.
they're always chocolate eggs with magic items inside. Or occasionally on a 4, it's just a random dragon egg, which could be nurtured to hatching, which will hatch into a baby dragon that regards the original opener as its parent. Again, the chance of you finding a jumbo um Mordekainen's mystery egg, and the chance of it being a dragon egg are very low. But
Fair.
yes, the description, of course, reads: festive eggs, the peculiar branding, and often even more peculiar contents. The paper label reads, and I'm going to read this in full because this is funny. Congratulations! You have found one of the most amazing Mordenkainen's TM magical mystery eggs TM. Within is a super incredible surprise. Fine print, which requires a magnifying glass to legibly read. So if your players don't have that, warning. Mordenkainen Industries takes no
Oh,
responsibility for food poisoning, illness, injury, loss of life or limb, property damage, allergy attack, taxation, magical mishap, untimely death, liquefaction, or parental responsibilities suffered as a result of a Mordenkainen's TM magical mystery egg. Do not eat if you're a werewolf, shifter, are expecting a baby, are overweight, or if the contents are inedible. Always read the label. Follow the safety instructions. Do not mix with other eggs or pieces. Do not pierce or burn. Consult your doctor if you eat these eggs for more than 7 days. Do not run with Mordekainen's TM's Magical Mystery Eggs TM. Do not use Mordekainen's TM Magical Mystery Eggs TM as wall filler. Remove foil before ingesting. Do not ingest whole. May contain small parts. May contain living parts. May contain hot or cold liquids. Processed in a factory that handles nuts. May contain traces of negative energy. Sorry, I had to say all that quickly because that's part of the joke.
how it's written.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like one of those like adverts, you know, those like old TV adverts that are like they have like so many like really quickly said terms and
Legal
conditions.
stipulations, yeah.
Yeah. Some of these are, of course, hints as to what the eggs could contain, such as hot and cold liquids. Of course, the cold liquid being health potions, the hot liquid being literally fucking lava.
Just had to ask, do the anything as big as the small ones have like a little bag of chocolatey bits as well?
So
So it's hard to
the
do it.
medium one, the small one can contain a bag of chocolate coins, and the medium one
Hey,
can contain chocolate coins or a toy or luxury item sometimes, such as a bottle of perfume. Yeah. Or sometimes just actual coins. Um,
you need to have like a room full of them, and you'd have no idea what any of them are.
it's like, but yeah, it's because part of the inspiration for this, of course, was the deck of many things. So it is like it's like an Eastery
Yeah.
themed deck of many things. It could be an explosive, could be hot lava, could be an angry cockatrice, or could be literal gold, or money, or
Do you
health.
think the massive pile? I think a room which is a 20 foot by 20 foot room with a 5 foot pile of them.
Just massive pile of eggs. The lair of the Easter Bunny.
Oh yeah.
Funnily enough, the do not mix with other eggs and pieces is actually a reference to fucking Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 of all things. Because of that AI
Really?
generated, like, yeah, so in the arcade, there are a bunch of board games which have, like, rule bits on the back which have very clearly been written by an AI. And it says, do not mix these pieces with other yeah, something like the lines of do not mix with other these pieces with other board game pieces. As if someone's that's in the safety instructions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was also a few other like really funny safety instructions. Maybe I want to go back through my own video and look through that to add more safety instructions to this that just make no fucking sense. But that's the idea. I want to make something Easter themed, something funny, but also something kind of stupid, but also that actually could be useful.
Okay.
Because I also like adding very random stuff into D&D that, you know, stuff that has like random chance of being X or Y, because I feel like randomness kind of throwing a bit of a spanner into the works of the game, I think is what separates D&D from just telling a story.
I can agree with that.
So, so occasionally, just having your players now having to contend with an angry baby cockatrice feels very organic compared to just the DM can very much be like, I did not plan for this. This just happened randomly.
Or eating a lava egg.
Yeah, yeah, just tasty lava. I
That's
mean,
always fun.
this is what happens when you don't check the inside of your chocolate egg first. I guess another thing this was inspired by was all those
Wait, how
jokes
would
and
you?
not
Oh,
jokes
that's awful.
about.
So wait, if it's inside the lava egg, wouldn't you not find it?
Yeah.
That's actually really funny. The warning is inside the egg.
Well, no, it's actually so the warning on the
You can't
label
see the
is
warning.
it's attached to the there's a paper label
Ah,
attached to the foil of the egg. And if you only know what the egg
it's gonna say
is,
be
and
funny
the
if you have
effects
to read the
only
point. Do not
activate
eat after you've
when
eaten
you
it.
open the egg. Also, yeah, the whole thing of like just saying not fit for human consumption, I feel like it's very funny. They are designed to be chocolate eggs mostly. So have the warning label say "Do not eat" is very funny. Because it's like one of those like legal bullshit things. It's like, well,
Non-humans
we
though.
told you not to eat it, but it's a chocolate egg. But we told you not to eat it. It's not fit for human consumption. So that everything that happens is entirely on you.
So it's good for elves and dwarves and everything, but not humans. Explicitly, humans cannot have them.
I don't even think. Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't think of that. Not, not for human consumption. Their legalese of the legal department was good, but it wasn't that good.
That's more confusion for the players. So can I have it? Or
That's yeah, even better. Anyway, that's my Hopers of the week. They'll be in the Discord soon. Uh, I'd also like to take the time before we finish. I'd like to dedicate this episode of Byzantian Brewscast to Linda Rainbow, who sadly passed on Saturday, the 4th of April. You will be missed, Nan. This goes out to you. So thank you for many years of love and affection.
did, did, did she have like? Well, that hasn't come up yet. Did she have like a favorite song or something that yeah, or any like
Ah.
funny stories that would be
Oh,
heartwarming about her?
yes. So I remember one Christmas, she had this box of cookies where you could record a little thing, and then when you press the button, it would play that
Oh,
little thing. And so, and she turned to me with this really funny smug grin on your face, and she said, "Please do the
oh no.
man from Kazakhstan thing that you do." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Yes."
Oh,
So of course I did my best Borat impression, and admittedly, it's kind of like bittersweet now because my brain, I was thinking, wow, this looks like the kind of this golden box looks like the kind of thing you would put someone's ashes in, like a modern day urn. And so, in my best Borat impression, I did, inside this box is my mother. She is dead. And the laughter that came from her mouth as a result of that, it was like the angels themselves were laughing. It was just the most raucous thing.
don't get that confused with the urn at the service.
Well, I was thinking the other day, I was thinking yesterday, I was thinking, wouldn't it be so tragic but also so funny if in her will somewhere she wanted to be put in that urn in that like box as her urn because of how fucking funny that was. Oh man. Oh.
That's
And
that's that's a nice send off. That's
yeah. Another funny
there's
story. This was when I was young. I think we were coming back
hmm?
from Cannon Hill Park, and I wasn't
Right?
very old at that point. I was like 5 or 6 years old, so I was a bit of a brat at that time. And I was in Nan's car. Granddad was driving, and I had this little ice cream with me. I think it was just a cornetto. And I think I had a
Yeah.
moment, and I just for some whatever reason I was having a bit of a mardy one that day. I ate my ice cream a bit, decided I didn't like it, and threw it out the window. And then I complained, apparently, that I asked Grandad to turn around and go get it. And everyone still mocks me about that. You remember that time when the kettle
Yeah, it
pug
is.
wanted to go
How,
back for your ice cream that you threw onto the floor?
remember how old you were at the time?
I was like 6 or 7. Yeah, I was quite young at the time.
That's yeah, that's perfect. That's the perfect age to be doing something like that.
My brain could not comprehend the consequences of my own actions. Uh,
That's fun.
Also, sorry, it's another. I'm detracting a little bit, but it's funny. Again, when I was like 5 or 6, I think I was 5 at the time because I kept updating it. I was at I think some barbecue at my uncle's place. This isn't really about my nan specifically, but just more a story of my youth in general.
Right.
I know that she enjoyed because she found it at some point and gave it back to me. Um, Everyone was joking at the time that I didn't have many friends. Well, my uncle was because he was a bit of a in a funny kind of family kind of way. It wasn't mean spirited or
Mm.
anything, but he'd had this little bit of like 2x4 left over from some building project that was like maybe like maybe like a couple inches in size. So he decided to draw on it, and he decided to draw a face. And he
Oh,
said,
no.
"Here you go. Here's your new friend, because I know you don't have any. Here's Plank." For those of you that don't know and haven't watched Cartoon Network in that particular era, that is a very, very tongue-in-cheek Well, it's referencing Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Oh,
So I had my
I
own
have
Plank, and I
Player on
loved
Wilson
him.
for a second.
No, it was more like it was almost kind of similar, but yeah, it was Plank, and I loved him. I got him wet immediately because of course barbecue pool, so his face got a little bit smudged. But I had him for like years and years, and every year my mother would strike off the thing because it said, "Oh, I'm this many years old." Plank, on the back of Plank, and so Plank grew up with me. They changed. They just
What's
crossed
Plank
out and
doing now?
wrote Plank's age each year. I presume probably in the loft somewhere, but I think I lost him for a few years, and Nan found him somewhere and gave him back to my mom, and my mom gave him back to me, and it's like Plank. I think I kept him
You
like
should give him a
20
little
years.
business suit. He's got a job now.
Should get should be this Plank. Wow. But yeah, rest in peace, Nan. You leave behind a very loving family, and yeah, I'm glad you're not suffering anymore. Anyway, on that bittersweet note, I think it's time to end this episode
I
of the
can't really
Byzantian
improve on
Brewscast.
that one. So yeah,
Yeah, so we shall see you guys in the next one. We will raid out.
see you next week.
Yeah, who should we raid? Uh, see who's on the followers list. Yeah, no, we could raid. Yeah, we'll raid Ruth Perry. They are currently playing GTA 5. That's as good as anything. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Next time.
And join us next week, same goose time, same goose channel.
Very good. See you soon, guys. Bye.
Same goose time, same goose channel.
Very good.